offseason is known to have crazy contracts, but what about coaching contracts? As some of the biggest contracts have been given out this offseason already, and we're 1 month in. So if you're ready to talk about NBA coaching contracts, make sure to give this video a thumbs up or thumbs down because it's your thumb, and let's go ahead and get into it. This offseason has brought a lot of hiring and firing, but in this video, we're going to focus on 3 coaches: Monty Williams, Doc Rivers, and Nick Nurse, as those have been the 3 hot button topics of this offseason. When you're discussing NBA coaches' contracts, there's not much that are out publicly. One, because most people don't care about NBA coaches' contract other than the fact that they're getting hired or fired, one and the other, which I completely agree. But one major thing that we all kind of know about NBA coaches' contracts is that their contracts are fully guaranteed, which is similar to NBA players' contracts, as a good portion of their contracts are fully guaranteed, unlike in the NFL. Now, even though they're fully guaranteed, both sides, the team and the coach, could agree on a buyout settlement that can relieve them for having to pay them for the next 5 seasons if they have signed a recent contract extension. Monty Williams was very publicly and shockingly fired by the Phoenix Suns this offseason, as he had 1 year left on his original contract that brought him to Phoenix, but he signed a 2-year extension, which means that he had $21 million left in his contract, which that would have been his buyout amount. Doc Rivers, who was not shockingly fired by the Philadelphia 76ers this offseason, had 2 years left on his contract, and he has a $16 million buyout left on his contract if they reach no agreement or he doesn't get signed. Nick Nurse, who is in between shocking and not shockingly fired by the Toronto Raptors, had 1 year left on his contract. Even though he signed a contract extension in 2020, he would have had an $8 million buyout from that original contract. And all of these coaches, except for Doc Rivers, have new jobs, which means that they do not have to pay for the rest of their contract agreement if they had not already settled a buyout agreement. Nick Nurse, who was hired by the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, they haven't released any major information on his contract, which is fairly common with coaches' contracts because who really cares? But it is speculated that it is a 10-year contract deal. But the major contract that happened this offseason was given to Monty Williams, as he is the new coach of the Detroit Pistons, and he signed a 6-year, $78.5 million contract. And this is a historical contract in the NBA. And going along with that contract, he has enough incentives to make that contract be worth over $100 million. But that's not even the craziest part of the story, because at first when the Pistons called Monty Williams, he was like, no, I'm good. Which I want to know what that offer was, because I understand he had that Phoenix buyout money, and $21 million just to chill out your house. I see no problems with that. But after they made that first offer and it failed, obviously the Pistons were like, we're throwing all the chips in the bucket. And they came up with this offer that really excited Monty Williams, as now he's their new head coach. And talking about the highest paid coaches in the NBA, the top 5 are Monty Williams, making $13.05 million a year, which is the highest paid in the NBA and one of the top 5 highest paid in all professional American sports. You have Greg Popovich, who makes $13 million a year, Steve Kerr, who makes $9.3 million a year, Eric Spoelstra, who makes $8.5 million a year, and Rick Carlisle, who makes $7.25 million a year. Well, now that you know a little bit more about how NBA coaches' contracts works, make sure to check out this video where I talk all about how NBA player contracts work, as well as subscribe and hit the bell to be notified every time I post a new video, which are Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me know down in the comments below, how do you feel about this new cycle of NBA coaches, and should they be getting this huge amount of money? Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down because it's still your thumb. And remember, don't be afraid to join the convo.